Jacob Blake Sr. His father was a member of our organization. Bishop Tavis Grant, who is our national field director, engaged in the survey in Kenosha and Milwaukee ever since this happened. Let me say before bringing Brother Jacob on, Brother Jacob on. The decision by the district attorney was fundamentally unfair. He didn't make a decision. He equated the guy who shot the man 7 times with the boy who got shot in the back 7 times. It's kind of ham and egg justice, you know. They're not the same. Chicken drops an egg, hog drops a leg. It's not fair. And police have something called qualified immunity. They live above the law. So they shoot LeBron Taylor in a little bit of walk away free. Gone in New York, walk away free. We must bring an end to this madness, killing people without paying the price. Shoot a man back 7 times because attempted murder. She should be fired and should be arrested. She should go to trial. So I want to stress my thanks to Mr. Blake for being the father he has been, standing up, standing tall in this struggle. We've also been on the phone today with people in Washington because already Trump has created a certain climate in the country. It's all right to shoot and kill. You can get away with it. They're in Washington right now with loaded guns, AK-47, AR-15s. The Congress is intimidated on the issue of security, urging people in Washington to stay off the streets. They want to shoot somebody, create a race riot. Trump would then bring in troops to save the nation from a race riot, further undermine the election. Over in Kenosha last night, 100 of the Proud Boys with guns ready for confrontation. So we must use wisdom and prudence in this season. I want Bishop Grant to be on top of this case to share a word and then bring on Brother Blake. Bishop.
I'm Bishop Tavis, T-A-V-I-S, Grant, G-R-A-N-T, the National Field Director for Rainbow Push. We're here today to respond very succinctly and very directly to our disappointment, yet we are not surprised with disappointment that justice has once again been delayed. Such as the case was with Emmett Till, such as the case was with Medgar Evers, such as the case was with Trayvon Martin, and most recently with Breonna Taylor. We spent several evenings ago with Mr. Blake, Breonna Taylor's family, and George Floyd's family, talking about how to react to delayed justice. Mr. Blake was in Kenosha last night under duress and under threat from the Proud Boys. He's endured a number of death threats through all of this, and yet has stood tall beside his family, namely his son. And so we know what we know. We know what we felt. We know what we saw. We know what we heard when we heard the shots, the 7 shots, when we saw the video. And the prosecutor has given us a brand of justice that represents the group that wants to overturn this election, that wants to challenge our birthright, that wants to make us 3/5 human. And so Reverend Jackson has communicated with national activists around the country who are calling for calm and a sense of consciousness as it relates to how we're going to respond to this. We're going to be proactive and not reactive. And those who want to take to arms have failed at realizing civil rights has not been about taking lives, it's been about saving lives. Jacob Blake Sr. has been an example of a freedom fighter and one who has sought justice, and the fight is not over. Reverend Jackson will be leading these families just prior to the inauguration to address the Biden administration and the Justice Department. We want this case to be a premium priority in a nationalized attempt. Most recently in the city of Columbus, 2 African Americans were gunned down, almost executed. And in that city, they did the right thing. They terminated those officers, they took them off the street, they took their badges, and now they're facing potential indictment and conviction for murder. Just up the road from Kenosha in Wauwatosa, an officer who killed 3 people was not fired, was not terminated, was bought out. We must come up against this system of allowing law enforcement bad actors to live above the law, and we demand equal justice under the law. We demand it. And so we're glad to have with us this evening to respond to this the father of Jacob Blake Jr., Jacob Blake Sr.
We're here, well, I'm here on behalf of my son and my family. We're unhappy with what was said today. We expected it. It did not sideswipe us or jump us from the backside. We understood what was going to come when they called in the National Guard. We understand what the Proud Boys are here to do. They haven't been able to kill me yet. So that means God has my back. Because they've had ample opportunity to do what they wanted to do to me. I don't hide from anyone. I fear nothing. So now our battle must go in front of the Congress. It must go in front of the Senate. We must abolish the right for a policeman to be seen on a higher plane than citizens of the United States. You cannot have a Bill of Rights for the police and then have a Bill of Rights for the people. We're all people. We're all the same people. So there can't be anyone, there's no big I's and no little U's. All right? That's not how it works. So our fight is not over. We will take it to D.C. And I'll see you all there. And these wonderful brothers behind me, we'll all see you in D.C.
Mr. Blake, can you talk about your son's reaction today? Have you had a chance to talk to Jacob?
He'll tell you about it himself.
How's he doing?
That'll be soon. He's in pain 24 hours a day. But sometimes he has better days than others. And of course, his body has been peppered with bullets, 7 in his back. They did a surgery on his back, a fusion surgery. But the incredible amount of pain from the muscle spasms, to sit there and have to watch it day in and day out, as demoralizing as it is for you, think about how that is on a 29-year-old that was fully functional before this.
Mr. Blake, you say you're going to take it to D.C. Are you talking about protests? What are you speaking of specifically?
No, we're talking about to offices. We're going to protest right into the office. We'll go see Nancy first, Nancy Pelosi. Then we'll go see the Senate till we're seen, till we're heard. And hopefully my friend Uncle Joe is going to make all this so that we can see these people.
There's still a federal investigation, federal civil rights investigation.
Exactly.
What are your hopes?
My hopes is that the federal, you until that's heard all the way, you're looking at, it's a Kentucky-like scenario. There were no charges, but the officers end up getting fired. I don't understand how that works. I don't understand how you get fired, but you don't get charged. I don't understand how that works.
And the
President,
prosecution.
if you'd like to take a personal interest in this case and usher through the legislation you're proposing.
Yes. Yes.
The reason why we need to, the Civil Rights Commission should be revived under Joe Biden. It has subpoena power. It's a pattern of behavior. It's Trayvon, it's Lil Jake, it's Eric Garner, it's the kid in Atlanta shot in the back by the police. This reign of terror must end. The President of the United States has set a climate for it. People feel they're being taken advantage of, stolen from. Black people come, it's open season on black people. We're going to challenge the issue of qualified immunity with the new Attorney General of the United States. police have the right to shoot people, walk away. Juan McDonald was shot, killed. He held a tape back 400 days, shot 16 times. The policeman went to jail. First time police have been indicted in Chicago in 50 years. And when George Floyd was killed in Minnesota, the police didn't live in the city and they were indicted for the first time ever. This pattern must stop.
Reverend Jackson has equally raised the issue. Reverend Jackson has equally raised the issue of equating the shooter of Jacob Blake Jr., equating them in this decision. There is no equation, no moral equation to shooting an unarmed man who was outnumbered and unarmed, and in your decision trying to moralize, minimize, or marginalize his life in that he lost more than everyone on that day. Equally so, we're raising a fundamental question. This prosecutor's office, the sheriff, and many other electeds are lined up with a philosophy of overturning the vote, making people feel less than, not giving people insurance, treating immigrants less than human. How can this office be trusted to prosecute an individual that has raised over $2 million for his defense? Over $2 million, has on one hand treated him like a patriot and on the other hand like a folk hero. Kyle Rittenhauser is a murderer and should be treated as such. Is a murder and should be treated as such. We have grave concern if this office will prosecute him with the same vigor and the same aggressiveness that's required to bring justice. And so this is not the end, this is the beginning, and the fight goes on.
Mr. Blake, how are your children, how are your grandchildren doing?
It's hard on my grandchildren, but we're there to support them. It's very hard on them because they don't understand. They don't understand why daddy can't get up and chase them around or play with them anymore. But they're understanding that they saw with their own two eyes. They didn't believe, and this may sound, the first 2 weeks, they really thought we were lying to them probably. They thought that their father was gone and that he wasn't gonna come back. And I had to keep telling them, no, he's here, because we couldn't take them in because of the COVID to see their father. You know, a child needs to see what's going on, and that's what they wanted to see. And away from that question for 1 second, I don't care how long you talk in front of a microphone. There's no justification what was done to my son, because your story was you were afraid that my son was going to kidnap his children.
That's right.
If he was fearful of that, why did he fire into the car? So, with the children in the car. So it's either going to be, you're not going to keep flip-flopping. This is not hopscotch. This is not ping pong. This is my son, man. My son cannot walk right now.
Question. Oh, legal lynching. Legal lynching, it must end. Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
all for coming
Thank you.
in.